Hello guys and welcome back. So now in this video we are going to go back now to start implementing these methods until we get to the gaming screen. So if we check in our desktop here, if we go back here, we have where we select players white, players black, and then all this time and difficulties. Then if we go back, this is where we select our time, and then if we start the application, it starts from here. You can go to players with play with a computer, play with a friend, about the game and the settings. So now that's what we'll do with our application. Ours, when we just start the game in the main screen, it takes us direct to the home screen, and then the home screen is where we have our game. So we need to start from this page. So let's create this page to begin with. Okay, let's go back to our application, and then so basically this page is the home screen, and then this should be this should be the game screen. Okay, so let's go ahead inside the main screens here and then create another screen. Let's say game screen dot. We can start stf. This is going to be our game screen. Okay, so in this game screen, which is basically the game screen, we need to come back to our home screen and copy everything in here. So let's copy from the scaffold here. Let's copy that and then put them here. This is the one which should be the game screen. So let's go back to a home screen, and then in all these methods up here, let's copy them, come back to the real game screen, and then paste them here. Then now we can just go back and import everything on top here. Yeah, now we don't have any errors. And then in the home screen, let's do some changes. First of all, we don't need all of these things. We delete those, and then the up bar, we can maybe remove the actions. And then what else? This leading, we don't need it. This is the first screen. And then the background, maybe we can keep it as blue. Then here the title, let's skip it. Then down here under the body, that's where we will put what we need to put. So let's remove everything everything inside this children. Okay, then all these importation, we don't need them. So now this is the home screen. So inside the home screen, for the body, instead of a column, let's have a grid view. The grid view dot count. Okay, so now here on the cross-axis count, let's have a 2, because we just want box here, box here, box here, and box here. Okay, and then the shrink wrap, let's set it to true. And then what else? Let's have a children now. So for the children, so let's get the first child, which will be a card widget. And then for the child, let's have a column which has children. So the first child is going to be an icon. Let's say icons dot computer that one. And then the second child is going to be the text widget. Okay, say text, which is play versus computer, like that. And then here we can also have a constant of sized boxed with a height of 10. Yeah. Okay, so it's complaining here because everything here is hard coded, so we need to put a constant keyword somewhere here. Let's put a constant here, not here, let's put it up here. Okay, so this will be our grid, and then we can just copy this, then paste it here, and then paste it here, then paste it here. So now we have our home screen. Let's start our application and see what we have. So okay, now you see what we have. We have these 4 cards lined up here, so we need to fix this. So inside here we need to say, what is that column? Here we just need to say main axis alignment to center. So let's up here say main axis alignment, and then main axis alignment dot center. So we need to copy these to all of these. And then let's restart. Then we have this thing come to the center. Okay, so this is basically how we can create these 4 widgets. And then what we can do now is just to name these, but this process is like beginners, where we need to be efficient to create this. So instead of redoing everything, we can just create one of these and reuse it. Okay, so for example, because at some point we want to be clicking on these items, so instead of the card here, we have to wrap it inside the inkwell widget. Okay, so because we will reuse this even when, let's come back here. So this widget here, when we enter here, it's the same thing. Even here we have it, so we are going to reuse this. It doesn't make sense to copy this I don't know if it's 12 times here, and then here again 4 times, where we can just make one widget and reuse it. Okay, so let's learn that method. So first of all, this card that we have created here, let's make one as a widget. So let's copy this, let's copy it, and then down here let's say widget, let's say build game type. I'm gonna name it game type like this. So this one, it will take a string which will be our label, which is this label here, and then it will also take a string. Another string will be so this second string will be nullable, so it can have that string or it cannot have it, which is why we are putting a question mark here. This second string, the game time, will be, because here as you can see we only have play as and an icon. We don't have the game time here like when we use this one. Here we have these times and the string. So you can see that the string which is down here is always there, but the game time and the icons are not always there. Okay, so this string is going to be nullable, and then also the icon, which is called icon data. This is also going to be nullable, and then we are going to return this card. Let's paste it here. Okay, so now here we need to close it like that. So let's see what's happening here. Okay, so the first thing here is we've noticed that what we are showing first is the icon here. So but the icon sometimes cannot be there. Okay, so here we instead of showing it direct, because we are going to get an error, we should have a check. Okay, so let's say if that icon, the one which is coming here, if this icon is not equal to now, which means we have an icon, that's when we will show this icon. But now, since this is a reusable, we are not going to hard code this. We are just going to get this icon that is coming from here. We are going to show this. Instead of that, we need to say just icon inside like that. Then if the icon is now we are going to show the game time. Okay, so if this icon is now, we are going to show the game time. We can just show now the game time like this, text dot game time, and then it's going to be to show an error because it's nullable, but we're just going to have add a now check here. We know that definitely if we don't have an icon, we have this. So either this or this, we have one. So here what we are doing here is just simply checking the icon is not equal to now, we show the icon, else we show the game time, and then that's all we are doing here. And then this one we can have a constant for the sized box, and then for the text here, the text we know that we always have the text here. So down here, instead of hard coding this, we are just going to show our label here. Okay, and then maybe let's also give it some style. Let's say style, which comes from text style, and then the font weight, maybe let's put this as bold. Say font weight dot bold. So we can have a constant keyword here. Actually, it should be in front of the style here. Okay, so now we can reuse this. Now we can go back to this widget here. We need to use this instead of repeating this. Okay, so build game type. So instead of this card here, let's put our build it's called build game type. Okay, so for the label, this is our label here on the first one, and then for the what we have for the game time, we are just going to say now, and then for the icon, we have our icon data here, which comes from icons. Let's just copy this one on top. Like that. And then it's showing an error here. I think we need to import it. No, let's see, let's remove that. Oh, I need to remove this constant here. So let's remove this card on top here. And then why are we having an error here? We need to remove these brackets like that. So there's our game type on top here. So we can now simply just do the same, copy these a few more times, then here we can change now the text here. So play versus friend. Then our icon is, this is going to be a person. Then here we have settings. What is our icon here? It's settings. And then here we have about. The icon here is about, I think, or information. Yeah, then we can delete all of these now. Let's try to run this, so we get the same results. Okay, now we've just reused this. All right, so let's continue. So now we need to add the click events in this grid, and when we click here, we need to be able to navigate to the correct screen, okay, and know which one we have tapped in. So for that, I think we need to add one more thing here. Inside here, let's wrap this card with an inkwell widget. You put the cursor here and click on the light bulb, and then wrap with a widget. Let's slap it with we can either use a gesture detector or an inkwell. So let's go with inkwell. Then it's got the property code on tap. So on tap here, we want to pass another function here, which is required. Let's say function on tap. Okay, outside this, on tap, like that. Let's call it here on tap. Okay, so on tap we want to call this function here. Okay, or we can remove these brackets. No, we need the brackets. Okay, so on tap we call this function on tap. Okay, and then here we've got an error because we need that on tap function, so it's going to be a function here. So this is the on tap function. If you want this to be not just putting the data here where you don't know what this means or what, you need to wrap these with curly brackets. Let me just show you for now. You do it like this, and then here you need to put the required keyword here, required, okay? And then even here you put required. So this one is not giving errors because it's nullable, okay? And then on the required one, which means here I need to put label here in front, okay? Like that. That's when it will work. So this one, if it's nullable like this game time, if you don't, like here we don't need the game time. If you don't need it, you just skip it directly. You don't put anything there. Since it's nullable, it will know that it's now, okay? And then here on the icon, icon, we have an icon here, so we need to call this icon up here, and then we'll put that icon that we are sending. And then here you've seen it's got an error because we put it as required, which means we need to put on top here, okay? So like this, you know what methods you are calling from this side. I think it's actually better this way. So now we know we have a label, we have icon, and then we have on top. And then on top here, that's when we will do what we need to do, okay? So let's just go ahead and do the same to all of these. We can copy this label and paste it here. And then we still don't have this game time, and then we have icon here, and then at the end here we have on top, which is a function. That one is done. Then let's go with this one as well. We have a label, we don't have that. We have icon, we have on top there. Then the last one, we have a label, we don't have a string there. We have icon, and then we have on top. Okay, so let's just go ahead and test this just in case. So it has restarted, and then we don't have errors. So let's check if the tap events are working. So on the first one here, let's just print on top here, let's print this. We can copy this and just paste everywhere. Here we want to print versus friend. Here we want to print settings. Here we want to print about. Okay, let's hot restart. Let's see our logs here. So if I click here, you can see we are printing the computer. If I click here, we are printing versus friend. If I click here, we are printing the settings. If I click here, we are printing the about. So our methods are working here, and then we don't have to redo everything. So that's about done for this home screen. Let's continue in the next video.